Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into something that is, honestly, completely mind-bending. We're going to look at how a 14th century philosopher basically cracked the code on how our daily diet completely controls not just our physical health, but our minds, our personalities, and literally our spirits. It's this incredible journey through history, sociology, and early nutritional science. And honestly, it might completely change how you look at your dinner plate tonight.
Part 1. You really are what you eat.
So, I want you to picture that super sluggish, totally unmotivated, heavy feeling you get right after finishing a massive, rich meal. You know the exact one I'm talking about, where you just want to crash on the couch and do absolutely nothing for the rest of the day, right? Well, that universal feeling actually begs a deeply personal question. We all know food messes with our energy levels and our waistlines, but could the specific food on your plate actually be rewriting your character from the inside out? Like, could a heavy steak versus a bowl of fresh veggies literally change who you are as a person over time? The famous French thinker Jean-Antoine Briot-Savarin actually coined the phrase, "Tell me what you eat and I will tell you what you are." We hear this quote thrown around all the time in modern culinary circles. But here's the absolute wild part. A brilliant Islamic scholar and sociologist named Ibn Khaldun mapped out the exact science of this a staggering 600 years earlier.
Part 2. Ibn Khaldun and the power of the environment.
Now, to really understand this, we're pulling from some incredibly rigorous academic research, specifically a comprehensive paper by academic Yeliz Cardinis. It meticulously unpacks Khaldun's revolutionary theories from his 14th century masterpiece, the Muqaddimah. It's an absolute foundational text in sociology, and as it turns out, it has a massive amount to say about the stuff we keep stocked in our pantries.
So, what's the big takeaway here? It's his radical belief about what actually makes us who we are. Khaldun argued that your environment, your geography, and very specifically your daily diet shape your traits, your mood, and your abilities way more powerfully than your genetics ever could. Literally, to Khaldun, your local climate and what's on your dinner plate are your ultimate destiny.
Part 3. The Bedouin and Hadari clash. To prove this theory, Khaldun looked at a massive historical case study. He compared the austere, tough desert nomads, known as the Bedouin, with the luxurious, comfortable city dwellers, the Hadari. Khaldun observed something fascinating. The Bedouin, who lived with constant scarcity and ate really simple, light diets, developed much sharper minds, courageous personalities, and physically beautiful, resilient bodies. But on the flip side, the Hadari, who were surrounded by this luxurious urban abundance and had constant access to rich foods, well, they developed a physical and spiritual heaviness. They became duller, lazier, and just way less sharp.
In fact, completely challenging our modern obsession with abundance, Khaldun argued that having constant access to rich, varied foods comes with a massive hidden cost. He noted that excessive consumption actually distorts the body, leads to dull and pale faces, and literally causes genuine absent-mindedness, even stupidity. It's crazy to think about, but having absolutely everything we want to eat right at our fingertips whenever we want it actually makes us more susceptible to diseases and cognitive decline.
Part 4. The hidden psychological effects of foods.
Okay, building on that big picture societal view, let's zoom in on how the specific ingredients sitting in your kitchen right now are secretly dictating your everyday mood. It's not just about how much you eat, it's exactly what you eat. This is where it gets so cool, because Khaldun's 14th century claims map perfectly to modern nutritional science. For instance, he observed that eating camel meat and milk instilled patience and endurance. Fast forward to today, and modern science confirms this is due to high nutrient densities supporting stamina. He noted that heavy carbohydrates brought general calmness, which, we now know boosts calming serotonin production. And he even warned that excessive meat consumption makes people aggressive and harsh. And what do you know? That aligns perfectly with modern findings on how excessive meat can trigger active, adrenaline-fueled responses.
He also gave a huge warning about the dangers of mixing too many heavy foods together in one meal. Consuming heavy, mixed meals, he argued, causes bad bodily odors, pale skin, and serious mental dullness. But on the flip side, consciously choosing light foods, fresh vegetables, and specific spices actually brings this tangible joy, energetic lightness, and serious positivity to your personality. You literally physically feel lighter in your step and your spirit.
Part 5. The stomach's test with the soul.
So, moving into the final, and honestly probably the most profound dimension of Khaldun's theory, we have to look at how our stomachs ultimately dictate our spiritual lives and our connection to a higher purpose. This introduces the deeply rooted Islamic and Sufi concept of riyazat, which basically translates to spiritual austerity. The core idea here is that true spiritual progression requires mastering your earthly hungers. It's this intense training of the ego, or the nafs, by consciously enduring hunger. People would sometimes intentionally fast for up to 40 days just to completely purify the soul from worldly distractions and desires.
Khaldun observed that the spiritual consequences of our diet are just absolute. Excessive eating literally weighs the physical body down, causing this deep, heavy sleepiness. And that sleepiness completely destroys the joy, the focus, and the energy you need for religious devotions. It basically promotes a profound laziness. Conversely, consuming moderate, clean, and halal foods actively nourishes the spirit. In this worldview, overconsumption isn't just unhealthy, it is israf, a tragic waste of both resources and human spiritual potential.
I want to leave you with a really provocative thought to chew on as we wrap up this explainer. In our modern society, where we have infinite 24/7 access to absolutely any food we want, is your overconsumption actually dulling your ultimate human potential? Think about it. If historical abundance bred laziness and clouded the mind, how are your own daily habits of infinite dietary access holding back your mind, your body, and your soul today?